Hello everyone, welcome to my channel. In this video, we're going to tackle developing SQL database manage isolation levels. The manage isolation levels module provides you with the instructions and devices to develop your hands-on skills in the following topics: managing concurrency with read committed, managing concurrency with repeatable read. Two exam objectives are covered in this lab. Demonstrate how the isolation level read uncommit causes dirty reads when two sessions are executed simultaneously, where the first one updates a column in a table and the second session reads the same before the first transaction is rolled back. Demonstrate how the isolation level repeatable read impacts concurrency when select statements are executed by two simultaneous sessions. When a select statement and an insert statement are executed by two simultaneous sessions. When the select statement and an update statement are executed by two simultaneous sessions. So I'm not gonna discuss much of this because I'm gonna make it short. So these two are a laboratories, the PLabs SQL01, the PLabs SQL02. Uh, these are a workspace to do an exercise in this topic. I highly recommend to use the PLAB SQL01. If there's any problems with the PLAB SQL01, you can choose PLAB's SQL02. I mean, it's your choice if you want to. If there's both of them are having a problem, you can either reset all devices or you can reset your PC, laptop, and so on. I don't know. Just reset it. So next, exercise 1. Managing concurrency with read uncommitted. An isolation level protects a specified transaction from other transactions to prevent troubles that can arise through a concurrent access of data. A transaction in SQL Server ensures that the group of operations is processed as a unit. For example, you can define a banking transaction and perform data modification to credit one account and debit another as a single unit of work. If the transaction succeeds, all of the modifications that you made in a transaction are committed in a database. In the case of the failure of your transaction, there must be a rollback. All your changes to the data are erased. Okay. Each transact SQL statement such as insert, update, or delete is executed as a transaction and is an explicit transaction. In user-defined or explicit transactions, you need to group the statements to the transaction between a begin transaction and a commit transaction clause. In case if the transaction fails, you can provide a rollback transaction statement to erase all the data modifications made at the beginning of transactions. You can set the transaction to isolation level for all transactions in the session. Setting the transaction isolation level helps you to specify the default locking behavior for all statements in the sessions. In other words, you can use locks to prevent update conflicts when you are in the process of changing data. You can prevent other users from reading or modifying the data. For example, consider you are calculating the average of the set of value in a group and you want to ensure the other transactions do not modify the set of data in a group. In such cases, you can request the SQL Server to hold lock on the data. The common types locks include shared. In general, read operation acquires shared lock. When a transaction acquires shared lock on a resource, another transaction can also acquire a shared lock, even though the first transaction has not completed. Exclusive. In general, write operations could acquire an exclusive lock. Data modification statements such as insert, update, and delete use to execute exclusive lock. Update. The SQL Server applies update locks on the rows when they are selected for update. When transaction isolation level is set to the highest, the locks are held longer and are more restrictive. Different transaction isolation levels include read committed. This option specifies the statement cannot read data that has been modified but not committed by other transactions. Setting this level directs SQL Server to use share locks for reading if read committed snapshot is set to off. Read uncommitted. This option specifies that statement can read data that has been modified and are not commuted by other transactions. This is the least isolation level. This is similar to setting no lock on all tables and all select statement in a transaction. Repeatable read. This option specifies the statement cannot read data that has been modified but not commuted by other transactions, and other transactions cannot modify data that has been read by a current transaction until current transaction completes. Setting this level directs the SQL Server to use shared locks until the end of the transactions. Snapshot. This option specifies that only the data modifications that are made by other transactions before the beginning of the current transactions are visible to the statement in each current transaction. However, the data modifications made by other transactions after the beginning of the current transactions that are not visible to the statement in the current transaction. Setting this option does not require lock when reading data except during recovery of the database. Serialized. This option prevents other users from updating or inserting rows that match the condition in the where clauses of the transaction. In this exercise, you will demonstrate transaction by setting isolation level to read uncommitted. Okay. Task 1. Demonstrate read uncommitted isolation level. In this task, you will perform the following actions. Execute an update statement that updates the row in a dim product table for the product key 110 and roll back the transaction after a wait time of 20 seconds. Execute the select query simultaneously with the update statement. The select query reads the record of the same product key 401 by setting the isolation level as read uncommitted. Demonstrate that due to the read uncommitted isolation level, the select query would read the modified value by the update transaction that was not yet committed. However, roll back after 20 seconds delay. Ensure you have powered on the required devices to connect to PLAB SQL1. On the PLAB SQL1 desktop, click Start and click Microsoft SQL Server Management Studio. Okay, server, the Connect to Server dialog box appears. When server type drop-down list, click Database Engine. Okay, server name PLAB SQL01. Click Connect. SQL Server Management Studio window opens. In Object Explorer, expand the database folder. Expand. Okay. To select the database from the list of database, click AdventureWorks DW 2016 CTP3. To create a new query from the query bar, click New Query. The new query pane opens. Adjust. You can adjust this one. Okay. Type the following query in the new query pane. Begin. End. So yeah. 1, 2, 10. Done. DBO. product. Okay, to run the query, click execute and press F5. Okay, query runs successfully and the result is displayed. To create a new query from the query bar, click new query. Type the following query in a new query pane. So select this price product key 401. Okay. To run the given query, select product key and the list price from the product key temp table for the product key 401. To run the query, click execute or press F5. Okay. The query runs successfully and the results is displayed. Notice. Oh, hold on. Ah, okay. Hold on. Execute. Okay. The query runs successfully and the result set is displayed. Notice the value of list price column in the results set. Okay. To create a new query from the query bar, click new query. Type the following query in a new query pane. And update game product set list price 0 product key 401. Wait for delay Q0 Q0 T0 for 20 seconds. Go back. Done. Okay. The given query updates the value of list price and dim product temp for the product key 401. The query uses begin transaction statement and updates the dim product temp table in AdventureWorks DW2016 CPP3 database. It then rolls back the transaction using the rollback run after a 20-second delay. To create a new query, wait, hold on. Okay. To create a new query from the begin query ribbon, click new query. Type the following query in a new query pane. Set transaction isolation level and candidate. Oh, 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 oh. Okay. Select this price from product and no lock. Yeah, product key 401. Oops. Okay. The given query selects a list price column value in the dim product temp table for the product key 401. The statement used read unpermitted isolation level to specify the select statement that can read rules has been modified by other transactions but not yet committed. Press F5 to execute query in step 8. Within 10 seconds, execute above select query. Step 9, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay. Then navigate the query pane that contains the update transaction specified in step 8. Find the rollback run statement executing successfully after 20 seconds. The number of rows affected by the transaction will be shown after the process completes. Okay. Next, exercise the managing concurrency repeatable read. This exercise you will manage concurrency using a repeatable read isolation level. Task 1. Demonstrate the repeatable reads with select statement. In this task, you will perform the following actions. Select all the columns value from the product. For the product key 401 by setting the isolation level as repeatable read. To roll back the transaction after a wait time of 20 seconds, the repeatable read isolation level specifies that no other transactions can modify the record with the product key 401 until the execution of the select statement and the current transaction completes. Update the content of the product for the product key 401 by setting the isolation level as a repeatable read. Demonstrate that due to the repeatable read isolation level set for the select transaction, update transaction is forced to wait for 20 seconds because of the exclusive lock used on the product key 401 rule until the select transaction completes the process. Step 1. Type the following statement in a new query window. New query. Okay. To read the records of the dim product table for the product key 401. Yes. So begin the section isolation level. Read. Select product key 401. Read for delay 0 0 20. Rollback. Okay. The query uses begin transaction statement and sets the isolation level to repeatable read. This specifies that no other transactions can modify the records with the product key 401 until the execution of the select statement and the current transaction completes. Okay. We create a new query for the query button. Click new query. For the purpose of this demonstration, execute an update statement that updates the same row which the select query reads in step 1 of the dim product table. To update the concurrent dim product key 401, type the following statement at the new query window. So set transaction isolation level. Repeatable read. Update the product. Set standard cost 50. Okay. product key 401. Okay, press F5 to execute the query in step 1 within 10 seconds. We're going back, execute 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I get it right? Okay. Due to repeatable read isolations, okay, we got it. Again, due to repeatable read isolation level set for the select transaction, the update transaction in step 2 is forced to wait for 20 seconds. Okay. Because of the exclusive locks used on the product key 401 rule, the update transaction executes after the select transaction completes the process after the delay of 20 seconds. So, navigate to the query window that contains the select query in step 1. Create the all values. Hold on. Navigate to the query window that contains the select query in step 1. Okay. The query in step 1 would display the old value before update after 20 seconds. Okay. Task 2. Demonstrate a repeatable read with insert statement. In this task, you will perform the following actions. Create a table named dim_product_temp and imports records from dim_product. Select records from dim_product_temp by setting the isolation level as a repeatable read to ensure that no other data until the execution of the select statement in the concurrent transaction completes. Execute an insert query by inserting a new record to demonstrate that the new rows are not locked by the select transaction with the repeatable read isolation level. Step 1. Type the following query in your new query window. Put this one here. New query. Just no. So use dw go and select product key. Price into product temp from video. Oh, okay. Where okay. Given the query imports records from the dim product table into the new table named dim product temp. Press 5 to execute the query. The query executes successfully and the number of rows affected is displayed in a message window. Gonna execute this one. Execute. Okay, 395 rows affected. Type the following statement in a new query window to read the records from dim product 10. Set up session resolution level. Repeatable read. Begin trend. Select all from product 10. Wait for delay 0, 0, 20. Okay, and then go back. Okay, okay. The query uses begin transaction statement and to set the location isolation level to repeatable read. This specifies that no other transactions can modify data until the execution of the level statement in the current transaction completes. Click to create a new query for the query run. Click New Query. Type the following statement in the new query window to insert a new record into the dim product temp table. Then values 23498. Okay. Press 5 to execute the query in step 2. What's this step 2? Okay, step 2. Within 10 seconds, execute the insert query in step 3. The insert query executed immediately without waiting for the completion of site query in step 2. This is because the insert query inserted a new record and the new rows are not locked by the select transaction in step 2. Only the existing records are locked by the select transaction in step 2 due to the repeatable read isolation level. So let's go for this one. Execute in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Oh, why did I pin this one? Hold on. I have to check everything. Something's wrong. 33498. There is a problem. You cannot insert explicit for them. Hold on. I have to read. You cannot insert. Insert is off. How is it off? And we'll see. Okay. Step 1. Navigate the query window contains the select transaction in step 2. The query in step 2 would display the old existing values before the new insert after 20 seconds. So we did wait while figuring out. So let's go for the task 3. Okay, as we all see, the after executing, it is affected now. Okay, we will see. Navigate the query window that contains the select transaction in step 2. Step Query in step 2 will display the all existing values before the new insert after 20 seconds. See? Let's now change it, and that's it. Task 3. Demonstrate repeatable read with update statements. In this task, you will perform the following actions. Select records from the dim product table into a temporary table named dim product temp. Select records from the dim product temp table for the product key 212 and 213 by setting the isolation level as repeatable read and roll back the transaction after a delay of 20 seconds. Update the dim product temp table for the product key 214. Demonstrate the repeatable read isolation level set on the select transaction thus only lock the rows for the product key 212 and 213. Hence, the update transaction executes immediately as it updates only the contents of the product key 214. Step 1. Type the following query in a new query window. Go for the new query and we type it again. Use go create some working table. If object id dim product temp when begin the table. Oops, forgot something. Okay, then end. Select product key. This price product in video product. Oops, where price is not now. Okay, given the query imports records from dim product table into a new table named dim product temp, press 5, press F5 to execute query. Execute it immediately and numbers of rows affected 395. Okay, type the following statement in the new query window to read records from dim product temp table. Okay. Section. Oops. Okay. The query uses begin transaction statements at the isolation level to repeatable read. This specifies that no other transactions can modify data until the execution of the select statement in the current transaction completes. The given query reads records of the product key 212 and 213. To create a new query ribbon, click New Query. Then type the following statement. The new query window to update the list price column value to the product key 214 and the dim product temp table. So, update dim product temp. Oops. Set 23498 where key 214. Oh, okay. Press F5 execute the query in step 2. Within 10 seconds, execute the update query in step 3. So, start 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh, wait, hold on. There you go. Sorry. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let's wait. Let's wait for that. Executed. And then F5 was affected. We'll see. The update query images without waiting for completion of select query in step 2. This is because the update query updates the records with the product key 214 is not read by the select query in step 2. Only the records with the product key 212 and 214 are locked by the select query in step 2 due to the repeatable read isolation level. Navigate the query window that contains select transaction in step 2. Okay, the query in step 2 will display the resultant records in the result pane after 20 seconds. Okay, so we've covered all the following activities for this module: managing concurrency with read uncommitted and managing concurrency with readable read. So I hope you learned something, guys, and thank you all so much for watching, and good luck. That's it.